Welcome to the farm. Today we're actually going to head out to visit lots of farms and see all of the things that happen down on the farm. We're going to see some animals, some crops, some buildings, and some chores, and some farm machinery. Our first stop on the tour is to visit the animals. We're going to begin by looking at the smallest animals on the farm, the bees. We can see 3 beehives here, each covered in bees at the bottom and towards the middle. Bees are kept on the farm to pollinate the crops. If you look closely at the bottom left-hand side, you can see the bees going in and out of the hive. Inside these hives are a queen bee, the drones, which are the males, and the workers, which are the females who go out and pollinate the crops. And here comes the barn cat. There go the cattle out to the field. And here's a closer look at the cattle. This is Max, who's showing us his cattle, his 2 steers here, and the steers are enjoying their dinner. These 2 are Hereford steers, and they're brown with some white markings. Cows have long tails to swat the flies away, and if you look at their ears here, you can see the tags in the ears. The farmers use the tags to identify each animal. Our next stop, the chickens. Here we see a chicken who has laid an egg, and those eggs will become our food, or some of them will become baby chicks. These may be purchased at a farm store or even ordered through a catalog and delivered to the post office. These chicks are only a few days old now, but when they grow up, they'll be all different breeds and colors and sizes of chickens. Such as this interesting looking chicken called a silkie that looks like it has fur instead of feathers. Our next animal is the dog. Lots of farms have dogs for different reasons, some to protect the farm, some to herd animals, and some to guard the herd. This is a Great Pyrenees to guard the herd, and farmers keep donkeys to guard their herds. This is Rosa the donkey on the right, who's got quite a personality. This is a pair of miniature donkeys. Notice both large donkeys and small donkeys have very large ears. And there go the ducks waddling along through the farm. Next up is the goats. Here is a doe with her 2 baby kids. The mother is called a doe, the father's a buck, and those are 2 kids right there. Goats have very fun personalities. These strange-looking critters are guinea hens, which are often kept to reduce pest populations and ticks. And our next stop is these beautiful horses. This is a baby horse called a foal, and the mother, who is a mare. And you'll notice they don't look alike. Sometimes animals look like their parents, and sometimes they don't. This is baby Andy, who looks like her mother, Corona, in the background. And baby Andy has an older brother named Trooper. This is Trooper, who's jumping and being ridden. Maybe when Andy grows up, she'll end up to jump and be in horse shows like her big brother Trooper. Horses can be ridden to do all sorts of sports. And our next critter is the pig. Pigs are fun-loving animals. This is Sophia showing us her pigs. There's a Duroc with the floppy red ears. This is a Hampshire-Yorkshire cross. And pigs lay in the mud like this to keep cool because they do not sweat. There's her final pig. That pig's breed is a Spot. Because pigs can't sweat, they do need to have plenty of fresh water and lay in the mud, and the mud also helps to act as a sunscreen for them if they have paler skin. Pigs come in many different breeds and colors, all unique in their own way, but farmers have to be able to keep track of just who is who, so they have a system to do just that by marking their ears with ear notches. This is a Duroc with floppy ears, and a Hampshire with upright ears, and a Yorkshire with upright ears. Again, you can see the notches in each. And here's Sophia again with her rabbit, a very large rabbit, and she's going to show just how big that rabbit is. Some rabbits have upright ears, some have flopped over ears, but they're all cute. Here's another pair of cute animals. These are Old English baby doll sheep, a heritage breed. And finally, turkeys. All of these animals require a great deal of care, and in order to take care of them, farmers must do many chores every day, like feeding. Here Max is getting ready to feed his steers. And he heads out to put their grain in their trough. There are a lot of chores to do every day on the farm to make sure animals are taken care of, as well as chores that are just done several times a year. Here's Cassidy, who's going to feed her chickens now. And Max is back to fill up the water for his large animals, for his steers. And Cassidy is feeding her chickens in a smaller waterer to make sure they get fresh, clean water each day. She also has to go out and collect the eggs from her hen house each day. If you have animals, they often need grooming, such as this rabbit and this horse. This is Oscar, who's getting a bath after he was ridden and sweaty. Oscar does enjoy his bath and even likes to get a drink at the same time. Not only is there feeding and washing, there's also lots of cleaning the manure. Whether it's large animals or small animals, they all make manure that farmers have to clean up and dump. And then load up with equipment. Dump it into the manure spreaders. And finally spread it on the fields. In order to do all of the many tasks on a farm, farmers use many different kinds of equipment, beginning with tractors. Tractors are the workhorses on the farm. They can be old or new in many colors: red, blue, orange, or green, with each farmer having their favorite. Tractors can do all kinds of work, like pushing, pulling equipment, getting ready to work on the farm, and sometimes maybe even having a little fun. Not only do farmers use tractors, they use all kinds of other machinery on the farm to do all kinds of tasks. Like mowing, hauling, preparing the soil, lifting and lowering, scooping, and dumping. Carrying, and harvesting crops. Next, we're going to take a look at some of these crops. Farmers grow grains such as corn, oats, and barley to make animal feed, like we see here. They also grow crops for people to eat, like this delicious sweet corn. This is a growing field of field corn, which will be mainly used to feed animals. It has long leaves and can grow to a height of 12 to 14 feet. This is a field of mature sweet corn used to feed people, and it only grows about 6 to 8 feet tall. Farmers rotate the crops in their fields each year, and here we can see corn growing in the front, soybeans growing in the middle, and wheat being harvested with a combine in the back. Here we see a field of wheat on the right and soybeans planted on the left. And here is the remains of that wheat baled up into straw. Not only do farmers grow straw and grain, they also grow different types of hay. This is a field of clover hay, and here we see a bale of wheat straw on the left and a green bale of hay on the right. The animals will sleep on the straw and eat the hay on the right. Here we can see a difference between the wheat heads and the hay. And here is our straw being harvested with the combine, which is harvesting the wheat. The combine drives around the field, cuts the stalks, and separates the seed heads from the top and the straw from the bottom, and continues to move around the field. The wheat kernels grow into the large green hopper on the combine, and the straw is spit out the back. When the hopper is full, the combine drives over to the truck and dumps it into the truck. This combine is so big, the head has to be removed and put on a trailer for the combine to be able to drive down the road. With the straw that's left behind in the field, the farmer drives around with a baler to scoop up the straw and bale it into giant bales, which end up dumping out the back. Now we're going to move on and take a look at the process of making hay. First, farmers cut the field, then they ted it to fluff it up so that it can dry faster. Then they rake it into large rows so that the baler can come along, scoop it up, compact it into bales, and dump it out. After all that baling, farmers need to put their hay somewhere to store it. So we'll move on and take a look at the different barns and buildings on a farm. Here we can see a shed with hay stored in it, equipment, and there's also a manure pile in there too. Some farms have new barns, like this horse barn with an indoor arena. And some farms have old barns, like this recently restored bank barn, which was originally built in the early 1800s. Isn't it beautiful? Animals also live in these barns, and here Sophia is showing us where her goats live, where they get their hay and their feed and their water. She sure takes good care of her animals. It's a lot of work to raise animals and crops and live on a farm.
Thanks for visiting the farm with me today. I hope you enjoyed our Down on the Farm series, where we got to see tractors, farm equipment, some 4-H kids and their animals, baby animals, learned all about making hay, and today seeing all the things that go on a farm. So I hope you had fun on the farm, and thanks for joining me.
You can find the whole Down on the Farm series on the CCPL Kids and Families YouTube channel. I'd like to give a special thank you to all of the farmers who allowed us to visit their farms in this series. To learn more about farm life, you can check out the library's digital app, Hoopla, and find Country, Life on a Farm by Teresa Domnauer, Visiting the Farm by William J. Adams, and Farm by Pamela McDowell.